You told your players to enjoy. It's been a perfect tournament. You won every match against all odds. You eliminated 4 world championship. This is a dream tournament. What can you ask more for of life and these 40 days? Well, thank you very much. You said against all odds. I don't think we were favorites. I just wanted my team to be in a disposition to compete and to win, and we've made it. It's difficult to improve something like that, but I would like my players to keep growing and improving. This group of footballers is an amazing group. They are tireless. They will keep improving, competing, trying to win. They all need to feel proud. I said it at the beginning, and I'll just keep saying it now. They make my life and my work much easier, so much easier. I'm really happy about them, about the excitement that we have generated, first of all, for my players, for my technical staff, and for everybody, or every member of this family, of this footballing family. I'm really happy about my country, about Spain, about the excitement we have generated, and I hope everybody feels exactly as proud about this generation of players who can make history and have a long future ahead of them. Congratulations for the win. It's cum laude, this victory. But when you said that you had the best players and the best team, and you were going to try to win, did you really think everybody believed you when you said it? And also, if you think that at some point some people disrespected you, and people didn't believe in you, for that matter. Well, I was sure that my players believed in me because they proved it, not now, but all along this journey, the year and a half, they've been infallible. We have practically done everything right. Every step we took was in order to keep growing and keep learning and come stronger and get stronger. All I wanted is my players to believe in me and to be convinced of what I told them, not only me, but the whole of the technical staff. It would be easy for me now to reproach other people, but I won't do that. If you need to review any of your comments, of course, everything is there. But all I can say now is I feel happy, I feel proud. We have earned this. Nobody gave us anything, and I'm really happy that we managed to get it and to fight so hard for this. In modern football, with so many statistics and analysis, 3 of the great coaches on the benches, you, Ancelotti, and Mendilibar, you are all both above 60, right? Could we say is the triumph of being normal, of being sensible, of common sense, of not trying to reinvent the wheel? Well, every coach has to be who he is. If you're natural, that's great. What I don't like is to be cynical, not to be who I am. I can't live with something like that, and I feel close to Carlo Ancelotti and José Luis Mendilibar. We're friends with him. I played together with Mendilibar when we were 18. So I really like that kind of charisma. Some people won't call it charisma, but I think they've got a bigger right to call it charisma than other coaches even. So I think their successes and a long career like that gives you a different attitude. I try to be me. I'd like to be a natural person at all times. You may like it or not, but I am who I am. Even though you don't want to talk about reproaching or or different questions. Do you feel deep inside that football ended up being fair to you? Well, I think everyone who works hard, who gives everything, life will reward you. If we work, if you are honest with yourself, if you give it everything you've got at your job, life will always give something back to you. And football is part of life. There is a lot of work behind this success. We've been working here like this for many years in the Spanish FA with a fantastic technical staff, people who have been cooperating with us for years, who make our life easier, but nothing is free here. It's work, 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 and more work. And I think football has been fair, but it would have been equally fair if we hadn't won this. We are now probably assessing it or realizing how important this is because we managed to win. I don't know the kind of criticism we would have said and we would have heard if we hadn't won this, when the kind of work it would have been the same. So I think we should not only value the final results, but also the process. So along that line, we would have seen fairer in order to assess the different circumstances of life. Edu Castelao, congratulations for the title. Same question I asked Nico a few seconds ago. Do you think this national team, because how it is formed, because of how it's been growing in the last few months, are they in a condition to send a special message to Spanish society right now? And what is this message? Well, this is football, but this is also values. Sports are values. And I think this generation of footballers sets an example in society. It's young people, veteran people with ambition, with willing to work, willing to show companionship, solidarity, etc. All this have given us the possibilities to try to compete and to win something. But I insist, the final result is not only what's important, but the whole process. And I understand, as I've been saying for these 44 days that we've been here, I've been saying that these footballers are an example for this society because of the values they represent. Values that we need to value, and allow me to be redundant, and I hope you convey that message. I don't know if we will change society, but especially with young people who see these players not just as spoiled brats, but as people who work really hard, who live everything on the pitch, who set an example in every sort of value. And it will be very nice that people realize that, and to show youngsters the kind of things you could do in life. At least that is my opinion, or how you should behave in life. Congratulations for the title, Luis. Next year, the European champion will have to fight the champions of America in the great final. The Copa America champion we will know tonight after the Argentina versus Colombia. A few days ago, Scaloni said that you had been your teacher. Who would you prefer, Argentina or Colombia, who managed to beat you back in March? Well, that match we played in Colombia, thanks to that game, maybe we are also here. It was a fantastic experience. Those games we played against Colombia and Brazil, it helped us improve very much. Sometimes defeats teach you so much about your game. So if I had to choose, with all due respect for the Colombian team, etc., and Colombian fans, I have a great friendship with Lionel Scaloni. I have a great relationship with him, and I would love to be able to play that intercontinental final against Argentina for that reason, but within, of course, all due respect to Colombia, its team and its fans. If it's not an indiscreet question, Could you say anything about the message you got from the king in the dressing room after the game? I also wanted to ask you, you came to this European Cup with an interim contract, but the Spanish FA have told you that they wanted you to keep going. I guess you will stay because you are going to receive offers to do other things. Well, we were with the king at the dressing room. I was outside the dressing room with him. I really appreciate his support, both publicly and privately. They have called us, he has called us to show us his support many times. I really appreciate that, because he's a person who lives everything that happens in Spain very closely. He's been a sportsman and he takes care of us very much. And I really have to say thank you publicly to the king. And as for the details you were talking about, Joaquin, I'm really happy today. I'm really, really happy. I think the Spanish FA are really happy today too. I want to keep going. I think the FA wants me to keep going. I don't think there should be, I don't think there will be any problem. But you were the ones who didn't allow me to make any decisions. You were asking about so many different things, but no, but we will renew the contract whenever we have to do it. I'm really happy. I'm not worried about that now. And today is it's a moment to celebrate. It's a moment to enjoy and be happy. Thank you.
Hola, buenas noches. Enhorabuena, mister.
What makes the difference between the winner of this European Championship and the team who played in Qatar and the team that played with Spain in 2021? How did this team develop, and when did this team develop? Well, without being better or worse, you may interpret football in different ways and try to develop football in different ways. So both national coaches in those tournaments, I think they were all exceptional, the ones who preceded me, but I tried to impose, of course, my own idea. An idea that I knew my players who could implement on the pitch, because I knew them really well. We tried to be more unpredictable on the pitch. We wanted to play on our strengths. One of our strengths is possession and control of the game, but not only possession, but also we wanted to control the game with more dynamic and quicker dynamic situations and quicker transitions, thanks to players that we have that are very fast with different registers in attack. So we try to give the team different characteristics, but fundamentally we played on the knowledge we have of our footballers, knowing what we can demand of them and what they can give us. We didn't try to reinvent the wheel, of course. We just tried to make the most of the footballers that we had. That's the main virtue that we showed in this tournament. I wanted to ask you what you thought when Oyarzabal touched that ball and put it at the back of the net. And I wanted to ask you about Oyarzabal, another one of your bets that proved right in the end. Well, Mikel is a winner. We've been together for 9 years. We've won everything together. Mikel never fails. He can play in both sides. We can play inside. He can play as a number 9. He played as a central striker, as a centre forward today, and he scored. But of course, Alvaro Morata worked so hard today, generating plenty of spaces and generating problems to the defensive line of England. It's their own credit. I know what they can give to the national team. Zubimendi also played a sensational second half when we knew that Rodri's that we knew that we couldn't count on Rodri, and of course, I think he's the best player in the world, and I want the Ballon d'Or for him. But it's not my own credit; it's my footballers' credit. I've said this many times. I do think I have the 26 best players in the world. I don't want to disrespect anyone. It's my own opinion, and every time I make a substitution, I'm sure that they will do it okay. Congratulations for the title and for the style of game, or the kind of game you played this month. Spain won every match, 6 of them in 90 minutes, 1 of them in extra time. About the opponents, do you think that Germany was the national team who played better or the best football against Spain and who created more chances than anybody else? Well, when you think about the journey we've gone, or the different teams we had to face, Germany, France, England, Georgia, Croatia, Italy, etc. What more can you ask? Any of those national teams have a really high level of football. Maybe, yes, the most similar team to ours is Germany. That was a really tough game. And we played with a lot of resilience for 120 minutes. We showed a lot of maturity. Every game was really difficult. It was really demanding, playing against every one of these rivals. And what I value the most is our national team's performance, apart from, of course, assessing how powerful the rest of the teams were. I want to highlight the importance and the level of our national team, because, like you said, they won with extreme security or confidence this tournament. We haven't seen a lot of, we haven't, in a kind of fashion we haven't seen many times.
So congratulations for winning the trophy in such a extraordinary way. And yesterday in the pre-match conference, a lot of people were talking about the comparison between the Spain team between 2008 and 2012 and this one. I think, in my opinion, the major difference stays in the diversity of the team, because from 2010, 2012, a lot of Spanish players are from Real Madrid and Barcelona. And this time you got Lamine Yamal, who's half Moroccan, half Equatorial Guinean, Williams Escanes, and almost footballly matured in Croatia, and Rodri plays in England, Fabien Ruiz in Italy, and then in France. What do you think such a diversity can help this team? Maybe you do not have such a absolute dominance at the team of Alagones and Del Bosque, but you played more vertical, more aggressive. Is this thanks to the diversity of your team composition? Thank you.
Bueno, nosotros hemos sido fieles primero a una idea.
Well, we were faithful to our own idea that my footballers could interpret really well. Those virtues that you mentioned before, having different registers, making the most of the characteristics of my footballers, how fast they are on the wings, how good they are in controlling possession, a very organized defense, and very short, very self-assured defense. And I insist that also my goalkeeper was magnificent. That allows us to play in different ways, and this team was able to interpret in which way they could play depending on the different situations. So I'm really privileged of counting on the footballers that you mentioned. These guys are proud of playing with Spain, and we are proud to count on such a fantastic generation of players. The football keeps evolving every time. not only in from the technical aspects, but also in tactical aspects. But we shouldn't compare it with any national teams in the past, because both Luis Vicente del Bosque and Luis Aragonés' teams were the best and were innovative back then. But football has evolved, I insist, and I think we are up to standard with the demands of the modern game. It's a natural change, and it's always it's much easier to implement a change like that with this kind of footballers. Congratulations for the triumph. I wanted to ask you about the tactical change that you made at halftime when you introduced Rodri and the way he played with Fabian, and how that helped the team. Well, we wanted to play in the same way. Subimendi has very similar characteristics to Rodri, and we wanted to keep the same formation and the same structure. But of course, he was fresher, and that allowed him to have a bit more initiative and with the dribbling and generate some superiority in midfield, but we wanted to keep the same structure. The main difference was that players in the second half showed fresher legs than our rival and showed more resilience. We managed to hold England back for the minutes that were playing, at moments when they were playing really well, and my players interpreted that really well. And they knew how to implement the type of solution that was needed at every particular time.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations. Question will be in English. Harit Zatrian, Armenian Media. And the question is about the public. Now, I was following what is happening in the major cities in Spain, in Madrid, in Barcelona. People are enjoying, but it's already after midnight. Do you have any message to the employers who might demand their people to be on time? Thank you.
En España somos así. España a las 12 es pronto para nosotros
we're
todavía.
just like that in Spain. 12 a.m. is really early. Midnight is early for us in Spain. They have every justified reason to go out and celebrate, and I'm really happy that the fans were out there celebrating. Surely from midday, I invite you to come to visit Spain. I'm sure you will enjoy a marvelous country. And I insist, celebrations in Spain will be very long. It's been a very long day with Carlos, for example, Carlos Alcaraz. Congratulations for his title in Wimbledon. He also showed us a fantastic video to show his support, and we appreciate that from here. I don't think any employer will be upset with their employees, because the employer will be celebrating too. So there's no problem against that. No problem with that. La última pregunta, por favor, que sea. I wanted to ask you, you've been for many weeks talking about theory, talking about the group, but the most difficult thing of everything is to be able to put it in practice, put theory in practice. And at the end, in a tournament, in which it's very difficult to find a character, you end up seeing what your team is like. I don't know if you wanted to say that, if there was a moment when you saw something when people didn't see anything. You always seem so sure with exactly the same kind of statements. I don't know if there was a moment when you thought, wow, we've got something different here. We're cooking something different here with this group of players. Thank you very much for your words. I always said that if I had an advantage, it was that I knew my footballers really well. I know what they can give. I know what I can ask of them. I know that they will never fail me. And that advantage of the knowledge I have of my players allowed me to predict what was going to happen with them, you know. So all the players I've gotten to know in this year and a half that we've been together, I've selected them because of that same line of attitude and that same of working hard. We need to go along those lines. We've been working in the same way from youth teams. That's always proven successful. It's nothing else than a line of work based, of course, priority one in my footballers, that I will say again, they are the best. But then you have to complement that with a series of values that are human values, because that is what helps you, what turns a big team or a good team into a great team. So with those values, a good team has turned into a magnificent team. But of course, even it all stems from the knowledge I have of those players. I'm privileged to know them for so long. They always trusted in my messages, and they keep doing that, and that makes me feel stronger and makes me feel more convinced of my line of work. The covering of the national team throughout the tournament. Have a safe trip, and long live Spain.